First, we're going to start by finding the center of our page and making two smiley face lines. These are going to be the eyes. Then I make two vertical lines on each side, make sure they're long enough, and make a V shape for the chin. Then you're going to make the headband with two rainbow lines connecting to make a rectangle, and then we're going to make her crown by dividing it up into different sections. You can have as many sections as you'd like, just make sure they are wide enough because we are going to be using glue. Make zigzag lines coming out of the headband and on the sides of the head for the hair. The neckline should be lined up with the centers of the eyes with two vertical lines going down and then another V shape. Finish off the hair with your zigzag lines, and the nose is going to be in between the eyes, long and swooping, kind of like the letter L. Then you want to make sure your lips are big because otherwise they're going to end up merging together because the glue makes a thicker line. Then you'll finish off with the shoulders, a swooping line on the right, and then a shorter swoop and a more vertical swoop because she's raising her arm holding that torch. You're going to need liquid glue. Make sure it's open, and you do that by twisting the top and making the white dot disappear. Start at the top of your paper, this way you don't drag your hand through the glue. You want your hand to hover above the page, turning your hand into what I call a helicopter, so that way it hovers above the page and you're not dragging the tip of the glue onto the page. So again, the tip of your glue does not touch the paper, it's hovering right above it. Take your time making sure that you have enough space between lines, otherwise they are going to merge together because glue, when you see, it expands after you put it on the paper. So make sure you have enough space between your lines or else it's going to become one big blob. Really take your time with this, and each time you need to stop or change direction, that is when you can go ahead and touch the paper and do a little tap. Okay, the tap will cut off the glue and make sure that you do not drip it. Okay, so take your time with this, really go slow. The hardest part, in my opinion, is going to be the mouth. So really make sure that your lips are large enough that they're not going to merge together and create a big puddle. Next, we're going to use chalk to color and fill in the spaces that the glue created. You need different shades of blue, red, white, the patriotic color scheme. With chalk, you do not have to fill in everything. You don't have to color everything because we are going to use our fingers then to smear it all together. So do not feel like you have to fill everything in because we will do that later. What you want to do though is make sure that you have different sections that you have colored in a way that makes sense, and colors that are next to each other should be also next to each other or similar to each other on the color wheel. Like for example, red and blue can be next to each other because they are both primary colors. You want colors that are going to be able to blend well together. You may color this however you'd like. There's no right or wrong way. Just make sure you use a variety of colors and you use Romero Brito and Sandra Silswig's work as inspiration. We are then going to use our fingers to blend it together, and you're going to use a different finger for each color. So I'm using my pinky first for the blue, and I'm only using that pinky for that color. If you run out of fingers, have a wet paper towel or damp paper towel close to you so you can wipe your fingers off. Once everything is blended together and you smoothed out your transitions, then you're going to add patterns inside of your Lady Liberty and on the outside background. I decided to use a firework pattern to go along with my theme and symbolism of freedom and America. I filled the entire background and made sure it looked colorful and neat, and for my patterns I also added stars and different dots to make it more interesting. I am not smearing or blending any of my patterns together, just leave them how they are.